today. It is called Asalha Puja Day. Asalha is mean 8. It is the 8th lunar moon that celebrate throughout the year according to the moon or lunar calendar. Well, what is special about it? Well, let's take a look on my screen, everyone. On this day, it's celebrate, okay, it celebrate the birth of the triple gem, which is the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. The Sangha is monk like me. The Dhamma is the teachings of the Buddha. This is the first time the Buddha himself has given such the first teaching, and also someone ordained as a Buddhist monk under his Buddhism for the first time. So that's it's become the birth of the triple gem. And that is summarized what about that. But that's not all though. There is something I like to share about the historical background on this event today. The first one, after the sixth lunar moon, which is the time when the Buddha himself has earned the title Buddhahood or find himself the success finding the enlightenment, the way to end suffering. He himself has wondered, such knowledge is so refined, so difficult. Who would be the one that is understand? And so he has come to conclusion that there are 4 kinds of lotus that exist in this world. 1. Above water. 2. Between water. 3. Underwater. And 4. In the mud. And as he has thought on this, he finally making himself decision. Now he is going to start teaching. But before we go further on the historical background, let's take a clarification. What is the 4 kind of lotus that I am mentioned about? Well, the Buddha himself clarified that the lotus above water are those who are ready for to learn. So when they just say, oh, for example, you practice meditation already, focus your mind at the center, and you will find your way. So he do it, he get understand right away. What about the second one, the lotus between water? He needs some kind of instruction. Can you a little bit more explain how do we do at the center of the body? So, okay, focus the mind at the center of the body by using visualization. Visualize the sun or the moon inside your stomach and use the mantra. Oh, okay. That's it. Understand right away. Okay. Number 3, underwater. These are the people who are willing to understand, willing to listen, but they need some time to practice. So just like us, we are also willing to understand, willing to learn, willing to practice, but give us some time to practice to get some result. So these are the 3rd kind of lotus flower. But what about 4 in the mud? These are the people who are not willing to learn, not willing or ready to understand or practice any kind of teaching at all. So therefore, these are the 4 kind of lotus flower that the Buddha has found, and he's finally making realization that, oh, even though there were few, these people are ready. It's for their benefit that I should start teaching. And so he was wondering, if I'm going to start, who would be the first to listen to my teaching and understand? So he recalled of the 5 ascetics. According to the Buddha's biography, during the time when he was still practiced self-mortification and also practiced meditation, try to find the way, the spiritual way for him to find the enlightenment. And so with that, these 5 come to learn from him. But because the belief in India at that time, they believed that the only way to find enlightenment is through the practice of self-mortification. And how do you know what kind of self-mortification? The one that the Buddha did according to his biography. First is he stopped drinking water. Second, he stopped eating food. Second, he tried to hone breathing. So try not to breathe and try to live and stay alive. Practice through meditation. That is self-modification. But he can't just do it right away. He had to decreasing the water that he drink, decrease the food that he ate, so that way he can adjust it. But it took, according to the story, it took him about 2 years. It said that when he touched his arm, the hair on his arm falling down because there is no moisture, no water. When he touched his stomach, he can feel his spine on the back right away. That is how very bad it is. But why it has to be practice self-modification like that? Is the belief kind of like, you see, if you want to get the juice out from an orange, you have to do what? Squeeze them, right? Squeeze them very hard so the juice coming out. Same thing for self-modification. People believe that if we are train our body very, very hard, we can find enlightenment through that path. And it is strong belief. And these five ascetic believe that Siddhartha, at the time he's not a Buddha yet, will be the one. And so they came to take care of him. But one day, on about 2 years, he found that he been practice like this almost die many times, but he can't find any solution or any way. Maybe this is not the way. So he recalled himself. How did he do throughout his life? He recalled that during the time when he was 7 years old. Yes, he sit under the tree alone by himself where there's no one taking care of him. They will enjoy themselves on the festival. So he just sit alone. He found so much comfortable feeling with the air, the quiet, the peacefulness, and so much relaxed because no one come looking after him. So when he finds such really, really relaxation, he find inner peace. But it wasn't too long because the time his father comes, so he has to quit and stop. He recorded the time how did he do, and yes, he just sit still, relax. But he was so hungry he couldn't focus, so he asked one of the ascetic, "Can you bring me the food? I am starving." So they bring him the food, but once they give him the food, they recall, "Hey, is he quit self-modification? Maybe he's become too greedy now. Maybe we should quit, should leave him alone now. He's what benefit for us?" So without asking or say anything, they just left, just like that. But Siddhartha doesn't forget about them. When he become enlightenment and call himself as the Buddha, he recalled these five are ready and they should be the first to listen to his teaching. So he walked on foot toward them at the deer park. Okay, they call that in India Isipatana, but in English they call the deer park. Okay, anyway, so when he reaching there, these five, "Hey, is that Siddhartha?" The gray one said, "Yeah, that's it. Well, what is what is he doing here? He's quitting practice self-modification. Maybe he's too greedy. What should we do?" And they will all agree that, well, we just let him sit. We're not gonna take care of him. So that way, you know, let him say whatever he wants. Okay? So when the Buddha reaching them, they forgot their agreement. One of them went to prepare the seat. One of them went to prepare water. One of them bring the fan to cool him down. And they all forgot all their agreement. But once they settle down, they give the water. They realize something. Oh, okay, Siddhartha, what is your business here with us? The gray hair one. His name is Kodanya. We're gonna talk that. Then the Buddha taught that, well, I am the Buddha. I have learned enlightenment. I have come here to give you the knowledge. Listen to me well and you shall find yourself enlightenment like me. But they do not believe. Then they said again, Siddhartha, you were very greedy. You just eating the food. And why? How are you supposed to be enlightenment? Then the Buddha replied to them, for all the time I am with you, have I ever said I am Buddha? Now I am enlightened. I will teach you. Listen to me well, and you shall find the knowledge. And when they realize that, oh, now he really said it, so that's they listen to him. Yes. So he teached this, that as the wise one or the noble one does not practice two things. They avoid practice of sensual pleasure. They do not indulge themselves in all kind of sensual pleasure, nor practice self-mortification. They do it so on the middle way. So that way, that is the way to find the enlightenment. The path that the wise one or the noble one follow is for noble truth, that life there is suffering. There is the cause of suffering. There is the end of suffering, and the path to end suffering is the middle way. After he teaching that, GoodQandA requests to ordain as the first Buddhist monk because he understands right away what the Buddha meant. And so he became the first Buddhist monk in Buddhism. After GoodQandA requests to be ordained as a Buddhist monk, thus the birth of Triple Gem has come to this world. So thus they are the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, the monk. And so, everyone, hopefully this Buddhist wisdom can give you a little bit of historical background on this special full moon. And believe it or not, every time it is full moon, it is special because it allows you to find inner peace much better.